Yeah, I got you, man. Well, the first thing I want to get onto right away is we got to talk about this, and I got a
Yeah.
picture. This
Okay.
bad
Is
boy right here.
Ooh, yeah.
This whole off season, it was I didn't really know about it. I heard you were building a car, I had no idea what it was going to look like or anything like that.
Yep.
And then bam, all of a sudden one day on social media, there it was. I was like,
Yeah.
this thing is badass. So how long was this coming? How long you been working on this?
I would say it took about again is about 9 months.
Hey everybody, Cisco Dean, and for this year for Outlaws 32, I built a new 1978 Firebird, well at least new to me. Using the same power plant, PSIC rotor screw blower, Brad Anderson Hemi, 526 cubic inches, Rossler Turbo 400 transmission. As you can see, it's still roof quarter.
The car started its life as a Dan Page. He's a guy out of northeastern United States. Builds a lot of like top alcohol cars, maybe some funny cars. He's only did a handful of pro mods. Obviously it was a full-fledged pro mod. I can't afford to build one of these cars from the ground up anymore. They're wanting like 250 to 300,000 rolling with no motor, no trans. Sometimes no electronics. So I bought this from, the guy they called Nova Joe.
Yep.
So I bought the car from Nova Joe. It was a 70 and a half Camaro. Obviously, stripped all the carbon fiber body off of it. Took it to, well, actually, Larry Hauk at Hauk Fab. If you know Larry, he's got he's been doing really well in small tire and backside racing. They call it the bracket car. Have you seen the Grand Prix Larry also built the Cadillac. So
Okay.
I said, hey, this is my idea. This is what I want to do. I want to do a car that nobody's ever done. Chevelle. Not to be rude to anybody, but I just don't want to do a Camaro or a Mustang.
Yeah, I
I
got you.
know those parts are readily available, but I just thought I want something different. I just want something unique, And as a kid, everybody loved that, the Smokey and the Bandit, Burt Reynolds
Hmm.
'78 Firebird. So I said I want to do a Firebird. Obviously, I want to do it pink. And I got with
Yep.
Boynton, and I told him, I said, look, I want to make my own pink. This is kind of how I want it to be. I want gold leaf for the bird. I want it to look exactly factory, T-tops, everything. If somebody took a picture of it, it would look like a factory Firebird. I got John from the Second Gen Graveyard got me a bunch of parts. There's so many people that's helped out. It's just it's one of those situations where I took a pro mod car, converted it to a steel roof and quarter car to make it
Hmm.
heavier. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
to make everything fit, people think that it's just replacing the body on there and you go. It just doesn't work like that. There's so much fabbing in it because pro mod cars are so narrow and so chopped and channeled. And then you put a
Hmm.
factory body on it's all you have to do a lot of work to make it look good. And Larry does an excellent job of making it look like, I have an image in my head. Hey, I want it like this. I want it to be low in the front. I want it to be sleek. I don't want it to be, too jacked up in the rear. And he did a great job. Hal
Right.
Fab did a great job.
Now, pro mods are notoriously longer wheelbase. Did you have to? So did you adjust it, the wheelbase at
It's
all?
within 2 inches of what the factory is.
Oh, it
So
was. Oh,
what? Yeah,
okay.
our rules have always been steel roof and quarters, and
Yep.
plus or minus 2 or 2.5 inches from whatever factory specs are. And
Right.
I want to say it's 111 is what it is, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. Yeah, obviously one wheel's stretched out than the other. 111,
Right. Yeah.
112,
Yeah.
110, 111, whatever that is.
Right.
So and if your carbon people or your fiberglass people don't know that you have stagger in your car, then you got one wheel looks all goofy and one wheel well and one's all forward. So
Yeah.
you kind of gotta, make it right. So, but it
Well,
turned
it's
out really
badass,
good,
man.
man.
Hell yeah,
Thank you.
it's beautiful.
It's
Um,
everything, and I've wanted and more.
yeah, and talk about why. I would say you and your caddy had a great season of No Prep Kings. Why'd you want another car?
Well, I mean, I hate to say it this way, but you got to keep up with the Martins, the Museys, and the Kellys. You know what I mean, and the Murder Novas. Technology has come so far from where we started doing this. What is this going to be our 8th season? I think so.
Eighth No Prep King season. Yep.
Okay, so when this started, my first Chevelle was built by a guy named Tad Froderman. Okay, that car was built to run 7.0 index at a what was that super Chevy shows, right? That's all it's built for. And I'm out there literally going 380s in this thing, 5 6 years ago, holding on for
Yeah.
dear life. So, in this meantime, Pro Mod has progressed. Things have changed in the rear ends. Things have changed in the suspension. Things have changed in the chassis. Um, And if you don't keep up with that and make these changes, then you just keep trickling further and further behind. So
Mhm.
I moved from, I think Tad said he built that car in 90 something. Let's say it was around
Whatever,
93,
it's in the
95.
90s.
And then I found the Cadillac was wrecked.
His
It
son
was
drove this
in Pro Mod. It's a full fledged Cadillac Pro Mod. Jerry Haas. It's a Haas car.
Okay.
Haas. It was a Jerry Haas car. So he sold it to somebody. This guy had an accident and wrecked it. So I bought it wrecked.
Mm.
Little did I know that a Pro Mod Cadillac compared to a factory roof and quarter Cadillac is night and day difference. So I went to the junkyard down here in Hamilton, Ohio. The guy hooked me up with the CTSV body. I had roof quarters, fenders, everything. Had to gut it. I took it to Larry Houck. I said, hey, I want to put this body on this Cadillac. Let's do it. It's already set up for it. We go to put this body on there, man. It is just. It looks like a demolition derby car when you first put it together because the roll cage didn't fit with the windows. I mean, it was just totally different. So Larry did a shit ton of work to make it fit and make it right. Obviously, it turned out beautiful. And the Cadillac was the motor's out a little further than I wanted to. And when they took us back to the 34.5 tire, it took a lot of work to get the car to work properly compared to on the 36. You put a 36 on it, it goes down Broadway anywhere, has a great time. You put the 34.5 on it and try to go out there and haul ass, it turns into a little bit of a handful. The Cadillac's been good. I've been working on it. It took a lot of weight transfer. It's, I've got around 70 to 150 pounds in the trunk that is needed to make the ballast right, to make the car handle properly, and to get through the gear change and all the stuff you need to do. So naturally, the car is 100 and something overweight. What needed to happen was the motor needed to be moved back in the car. Let's make a hypothetical number. Let's say the motor needed to be 78 or 80 inches out from the center line of the axle. And I think it sits in that car like 82 or 83. But when I first got it, it sat out 86 because it was a clutch car. So with a 36-inch tire, it's not as crucial. But when you start limiting your traction and then limiting the surface that we have to work with, you have to make traction somehow so you can go down. So what we did is we shortened the 4-link bars, moved the rear end forward 2 inches. That moved the motor back a little bit further. It's kind of, cheating the system. Instead of cutting the whole car apart just to move the motor back, I mean, it costs like 20 to 50 grand to be able to do that. That's just not, it's not economical for me to do that. If I'm going to do that, I said, well, if the motor needs to be moved out, this way happens. I'm going to put that 50 towards another new car instead of just into this one. So we got it hauling ass last year. We were running some high 70s, some mid 70s here and there. As you can see, I was neck and neck with Murder Nova multiple times. There's 2 or 3 times we were within inches of each other, and he won those races, and then obviously he beat me one in the final. So is the Caddy good? Yes, it is great. How much better it would be if I can get that 100, 120 out of the trunk? You see what I'm saying? So that's where I'm thinking. That's where my mind's going. If I can get 120 off this car, I mean, that's 500-600 faster. I'm over here losing by thousandths. That's a big change. So that's when the plan got initiated, and we started building the 78 Firebird.